Hey, so I want to do a quick video just to discuss an interesting concept that has been started by Tesla and Elon Musk, and it's the idea that the Tesla cars, electric cars with the full autonomous systems, could be considered assets instead of liabilities, whereas most of the time cars and vehicles are considered by people to be liabilities. In some cases, we might consider them to be assets, but it's more rare for the average person. Usually, the average person would consider a home or property like land, real estate to be an asset versus a liability. Like the mortgage on it would be a liability, but the land itself would be an asset. So I just want to discuss these two concepts, an asset and a liability, and then the way in which a car, the old car and a new car, in terms of an electric car that has autonomous features, would fit into this framework. So to start, we need to address an asset. What is an asset? And really simply, an asset is something where we can expect to have an economic reward in the future due to this thing, this asset. So in essence, if we can rent out our property, if it can generate profit for us in the future, if the land appreciates in value, it would be considered a asset because it's something that's going to bring us reward in the future. Now, typically, a car is considered a liability because it's going to cause financial obligations in the future that we're going to actually have to pay. So you would have to pay for gas, you'd have to pay for insurance, you'd have to pay for repairs, and the car itself isn't actually going to generate any income for you. It might help facilitate you in generating income because you might be able to have more spare time in the day. You could get to the office faster, clock in more hours and things like that. But when you go and you break down the math, it might not actually work out to be an asset for you, depending on how much your time is worth and how much you're paying for a car. So, and the relative time benefit of having a car. So typically a car is considered a liability. Now, what Tesla and Elon are proposing is that their cars, the Teslas, are assets. So what that would mean is that this car is capable of generating a future cash value for you. It's not going to generate future obligations or debts or payments for you. So what my opinion is that this is true. And the reason is because with electric cars, you don't have the gas cost. Electricity is a lot cheaper. The overall system is a lot more simple. So the cost of maintenance and repairs is significantly lower than with a gas car so far in my experience and based on the numbers that I've reviewed. And with a gas car, you don't really have the potential to make money because if you were to try to make money with it via using it with your own time, you would be losing your time. Now, with an electric autonomous car, like the Teslas, you supposedly will be able to submit it to a network where it can drive itself. So it's not using your time and it's able to collect driving fees. Elon has guessed or assumed that this might be $30,000 a year, approximately, if you were to let your car out full time to the network, essentially. I believe he said it was from 9 to 5. So while you're in the office working, you let your car drive around and give people rides, and it would be able to generate $30,000 a year, US. Now, I think this is likely because we are coming to an economy which is more dependent on sharing economy, and you can see that through the growth of Airbnb and Uber. So if if we presume this to be true, we have a car that would cost you, it cost me like 62 something thousand Canadian, and there's a bunch of programs and everything you can get it like for a lot less than that, like 40, maybe even 50% less than that. And it's able to generate 30,000 US. Let's just call that 30,000 Canadian. That means, based on the financing plan and all your costs of operating, which come to a few $100 a month, total cost of ownership, you are making 20,000 extra per year on that car. That, by definition, is something which is generating you future benefit or cash flow, not obligation. by definition, that is now an asset. So it really does change the game. And when you're looking at things from, I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, and real estate is very expensive here. So looking from this perspective, where it would cost me $800,000 to get a condo, which might generate $2,000 to $3,000 a month in rental income, and a mortgage that is pretty much the same, I'm not generating any benefit there outside of the potential growth on that asset. And in Vancouver, with a landlocked city, we have like mountains, water, and a border locking down the city. So it would be reasonable to assume that the price of land, based on how we currently anticipate expansion based on suburban models, would go up in value. But that isn't, if we can consider that an asset, that isn't as beneficial as having a Tesla, which could generate you a free cash flow of something close to like $18,000 to $20,000 a year. That's a completely different thing. That is way more profitable, especially when you go and you look at the relative capital outlay that you are making. So with a property, you're looking at maybe, let's say it's an $800,000 condo, you're able to get $3,000 a month for it for rent. You're looking at paying $40,000 to $80,000 down to get it, which is more than you're going to pay for a Tesla after everything's said and done. And that's just the down payment before your mortgages. And then you're also stuck with dealing with the interest rates and actually filling that space. So you're spending time to manage that property. You got utilities, you got repairs. So it's in Vancouver, it looks like buying a Tesla is actually a better asset purchase that is more reasonable than buying land at the moment, which is crazy. I'm doing both myself. I'm not just buying a Tesla, I'm buying land and a Tesla. I'm still doing all my business and private equity stuff. I still have public equities as well. But that is the argument. And I think it is a very interesting thing to think about, because if this is true, it would be a small, very easy to acquire asset to kickstart people's financial well-being if they plan for it accordingly. If you consider that a Tesla is an asset and you look at the cost of the Tesla and how attainable it is relative to property, and you look at the potential benefit from it, it could give you the scaling platform you need to begin acquiring other assets. And at first, if you want to be super safe, if the Tesla thing is working for you, you may acquire more cars to put onto the network before you diversify into property. But even if you didn't, even if you just stuck to the one car, and then let's say you buy a property near your work, if it is generating that level of free cash flow for you, it becomes a lot easier for you to acquire that piece of land. So I think that this proposition, this premise is true. And I think that if you look into it and you think about it more, you can look up the definitions of asset and liability. Again, asset gives you money in the future. Liability costs you money in the future. You will find that it is very reasonable to assume that a Tesla, an autonomous electric car, is in fact an asset. And if you choose to actually go and get one of these right now, there's a lot of incentives and programs here in Canada. There's incentives and programs in the States as well, and in many other developed nations. It really makes it a no-brainer in terms of what is financially feasible. This is actually cheaper for me to drive and operate than my 2000 Chevy Impala, which is fascinating. You just have to do the accounting correctly. So yeah, just want to do a quick video talking about this concept and just want to put it out there. Hopefully it helps some of you guys. Maybe you look at it and you go, this makes sense. Or maybe you look at it and you go like, I'm going to do more research on this. Or you listen to this and you go like, this guy's an idiot. I don't like him. Staffu. You can close this video. I don't know why you watched this long, but thank you for giving me your time, I guess. Like, I don't know. I don't know why you watch the whole video if you think what I've been saying is garbage, but I respect the open-mindedness to listen to it and to go through the video and to make that judgment for yourself with all the information at the very least. I would recommend, if you truly don't believe this, to do more research. And if you have really good arguments for why you think it's not an asset, I'd love to see that in a comment below, because maybe I didn't think about it. I probably have not covered everything in this video. I was just talking kind of nonchalantly. So I probably missed some things. Leave a comment. If it is a genuine criticism, I will add it to the description of this video. If I can't see it being like disproven, and you could change my opinion, which would be great. Or maybe it's a reason that's not so valid. So yeah, let me know. If you think it is an asset as well, let me know too. And if this video is the reason that you thought it was an asset, please do let me know, because that'd be super cool to hear that I've actually had an impact and helped somebody. So yeah, thanks so much. It's The Kruger. See you later.